We are live.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, and welcome to successcafe.tv. As you can see, if you weren't aware, we have changed the time from Wednesday at 4 p.m. to Monday 11 a.m. It just fits better for both of us without what we do already. So I hope
who is both of us?
Who is? Yeah. Well, my name's Paul Bursey, and I'm from Essex. Well, at the moment I am actually originally from London, and with me is
Warren Connolly, currently from Hungary and originally from South Africa. So yeah, I don't need to talk about towns. I go nationally. I
mean, global.
Yeah.
So
global.
Anyway, let's get into today's subject. And Warren picked this, and I love it. Time, the final frontier. Now I think wasn't it space, the final frontier?
Yeah, space, the final frontier. Yeah.
So you're a Trekkie then, obviously.
I'm a bit of a Trekkie. Yeah. Trekkie geek. I wouldn't say I'm a Trekkie geek, but I'm a Trekkie.
I'm old enough to remember Lost in Space, the original.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right. Okay. So as you can see, it's about time, and we're talking about anything to do with time and business, or allocating time to do your training, things like that. So it is about time, and I would say it's more your final frontier or my final frontier rather than just the headline. And why is that? Well, your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Okay, you can think about the time you used or wasted yesterday. You can think about the time tomorrow, but today is what we're talking about. Would you agree with that, Warren?
100%.
So it's all about what actions you take and how you personally use your precious seconds, minutes, and hours, obviously in days as well, today. Okay. Now, there was a little saying that I found, and it's time isn't the main thing, it's the only thing. And that is Miles Davis, obviously a jazz trumpeter. So I thought that was quite good, actually. So,
yet scientists are trying to determine whether time is really a thing or not. I mean, it is a thing, but like under what laws time really exists. So.
Yeah, all I know is my clock's ticking.
It's as simple as that, is it?
So the bottom line for you and me, and it's everyone, is either you run your day or your day will be run for you automatically by someone else.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is stay in control of the clock,
yes.
Your clock, the time that you have and the time on what you use it for. So, question: What do you do with your time today, Warren? Give us an example of what you're doing.
My day started at 10 to 5 this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that planned?
Well, planned for the dog. Yeah, the dog plans that ahead of time, so I have no control over that. The moment she wakes up, I kind of wake up, and then I was like that even when Laura was born, our daughter. I was the first one up. Whenever there was a noise, I was up, and once the dog wakes up, then my day starts, and then it goes from there. But my mornings are planned pretty much. Yeah, some are nothing's set in stone, but my mornings are planned, and I like to run a regular routine in my mornings. And like you as well, we like to get things done in the morning, and I find that this is what really helps to be productive, right? Is first things first. You can't. The reason why I chose this time, the final frontier, is because people think that typically, and especially in the business world, they think that you can manage time. And I want to just read what is the definition of time for a moment, okay? And then let's see if we can manage time, if it's possible. So this is according to Wikipedia. So now Wikipedia is, I think we can say this is pretty reliable, this interpretation or definition of time. Time is the indefinite continued progress of existence and events that occur in an apparently irreversible succession from the past through the present into the future. So what that's basically saying in a nutshell is that time is going to happen with or without us, regardless. And it's going to keep moving forward. Time never reverses and time never freezes. Fortunately, we are human beings, and we think that we can control everything, including time. And this is where I see so many people stumble upon the idea of time and the concept of time management.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you can't manage time, but you can manage yourself. That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about really is just using your time wisely and using it now rather than waiting. Because look, none of us know our expiration date. My friend Brian talking about that this morning, and he was quite right. You don't know you don't know how long you've got. So there's always going to be things to do. No matter what you do, there's always going to be things to do. However, there are certain things you can get in place. Now, I'm not going to go into that, thinking about wheels and different things like that, but there are things you can get in place, but you need to do it now, right? And then once you've done it, you can forget about it and set it aside and tweak it later if you need to, and all that. But sorry.
No, I was just saying, and if you're one of those individuals that just believes that you don't have enough time, period. There are some very simple tools that you can find. I'm sure you can find many on online that enable you to actually break down your time. And I have a very simple and fantastic example of breaking down your time, which I'm not going to cover here because I don't want you to take that away and misuse it. Although even though it's very simple, but once you identify the potential time wasters in your life, in those areas of your life that do occupy your time, then it's not that difficult to really identify that you do have time. You have the ability to create new things in your life with that time that you have. So it's don't for a moment think that you don't have time. Because when people tell me they don't have time, sometimes I can be blunt with them and I'll say, no, it's not that you don't have time, it's that you don't manage yourself better, like Paul said. It's about managing yourself and just being honest with yourself. And then when I tell them that, then they look at me like, because they know I'm right, So deep down under, I think all of us know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, the first hour in the morning is like my run of the day. So, I need that direction. So the first hour is different for me than you because I don't have a pet and I don't have any children that are living me of the ones you need to take care of.
That are dependent on you.
Yeah. So the ones that need directing are not living with me. So grandchildren, great grandchildren, things like that.
They're running their own direction.
Yeah. So my first hour is important to me. Now I can do whatever I want with it, and normally it's meditation and things like that. But it's very important. It sets you up for the day, and that's what I choose to do. What about you, Warren? That first, once you've taken the dog for a walk and come back in, is there anything you do?
Yeah, this was a big disruption for me when we got a dog. It was because I had that same hour, my power hour, my golden hour, and that was a big disruption for me because now when I did get up, it was earlier and it was for the dog. But then by the time I come back, I don't have that space anymore, that time for that 1 hour per se. But what I've done is I've just kind of refined what I was doing in that 1 hour, and I'm still pretty much able to get everything done, but within an hour. So it is important to me that I still maintain that, and that's about something else. That's like habits as well. That's a different subject altogether. However, it does link back. It does link back to time.
Because it's how we use our time, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Yes. So that first hour is important. Is dead important for dead important. What's a
Yeah.
better choice of word there? But it's vitally important for me that I have that time to myself, and I tell my clients the same thing as well. It's important that you have that time to yourself, and 1 hour a day. It doesn't take a lot to find that 1 hour and to create that 1 hour and to put that into your time, and then implement it and start creating the habits.
Yeah, for me, it's slightly different. Once I've had that first hour, which is separate, I then separate the 9 a.m. to 12 midday, and everybody's told, do not contact me during that time because I will ignore you, or I'll have my phone off, or everything be on silent. I'm not interested. All right, I'll get my best work done during that time, and that's one of the reasons we moved these two podcasts, Monday and Wednesday in the morning, so that everything slots in together for me now. It's just because I like the afternoons. I like to freestyle in the afternoons.
Yeah, I think that's actually I think because by the time the afternoon comes around, our head is not as focused. We're not able to focus as much as in the morning. So you're enabling the other side of your brain, the creative side of your brain, to take control for a while. In the morning, you're working with your discipline, your focus, your analytical side of your brain, so to speak. And then once you've, as you say, the afternoon, just freestyle it, because let the creative side come out.
Yeah, more creative. So you can, and I like, I like it. I freestyle so much that I have no idea what I'm going to be doing, and I like it that way. Yeah. So it built both sides of the spectrum there. So,
true. Yeah, you're keeping it in balance, right? And that's key.
So here's a question for you: when do you plan? Now, there's two types of planning that I use. One is when I plan for the day, and the other one is when I review the previous week and then plan for the new week. So do you do something like that at all?
I must admit I was quite disciplined in that way, and I've become very laxadated in that type of planning, daily planning, weekly planning, this kind of thing. I have become lackadaisical because I think it's also, again, I haven't been managing myself correctly, and we all make these mistakes, right, from time to time. None of us are perfect in this. You and I, we understand the value of it, and we understand what it really means. It doesn't mean we practice it perfectly all the time.
No, nothing's perfect. No.
So, but what I found is that I haven't found the system that works for me, because I am very much a wing it type person. I can think on my feet very quickly. Yeah. I'm that emergency type of person. If there's an emergency, I'm able to take action very quickly. Whereas if I have to sit down and start to plan, I get too much in my own head, and then I start to create something that is totally unnecessary, and then it's just nothing works, because in my head, then I add pressure to myself. I start creating pressure.
Yeah. No, I get that. I've done that before. But what I tend to do is I plan the first few hours. You've got to be flexible because things can happen, but generally speaking, I stick to the plan, and that's why I allow myself the freedom of freestyling in the afternoon and the evening as well if I need to. And you can come and go. You can be very flexible. Enjoy. If I'm going to sit down and listen to music for 15 minutes, or that's why I like. But I think if someone was starting out in business, I think they would have to train themselves a little bit and have a little bit of discipline, do this time chunking in the first few hours so that you get used to it in your own mind. And then once you're skillful, you could actually freestyle all the time.
Well, then you can tailor make it to suit you.
You can tailor make it, you can freestyle, you can be flexible, because the key is getting everything done and not feeling overwhelmed, not feeling burnt out, enjoying the process, and not knocking yourself if you don't do something. Because that's the other side of it, isn't it? With time management.
People are hard on themselves.
Yeah, we're not talking about driving people hard, not driving myself hard. It's about results. It's about getting the things done you need to get done. and I always go back to this. It's about the priority that you've got. One main priority that day. As long as you get that done, you've had a good day. Now, if you want to go on to priority number one again, number two, then that's fine. Or priority number three.
Yeah, and this is it. If you break it into threes, because breaking it into threes,
no more than three.
Yeah, and then even in your day, in your morning you got discipline and focus, your primary threes, your key threes. Afternoon you've got winging it, and then in your evening you've got reassess or assess. Yeah, so and plan for the next day. So that's your day broken into three as well. I used to work with a CEO from the UK when I was in Dubai, and this woman was she was a dynamite, and she used to do was, and I worked with her on a one-to-one basis, and in the morning she was completely focused. Everything, she would come in an hour at least, if not 2 hours before anybody else, as the CEO of the company. Okay, 1 to 2 hours before anybody else, and start working through those 2 hours. So there was no distractions. So that was like her golden hour, really, where she was able to then get everything done. And then her and I used to see each other in the afternoons because she had the ability to wing it in the afternoon. Because by the afternoon, she had done everything that needed to be done. And then in the afternoon, she would kind of wing it. So we would work together then, her and I, whenever the time permitted, but she didn't have meetings or seminars or anything else like that. And that was a good lesson for me as well. Just if a CEO of a company can do that, and I'm talking about a big company,
yeah,
Mickey Mouse, operation. So yeah,
it's something to think about when we're talking about time management, especially for those starting out, where you have to just show that a little bit of discipline early on, so that you make sure you get the results and get the things done you need to do. Is if not now, when? Yeah, think about that. If not now, when? And there is only now. There is only now. We don't know what's going to happen in an hour's time, a day's time, And the other thing is, and I've got 3 words written down here, is schedule, schedule, schedule. Now, Tuesday and Thursday this week, I'm going, obviously, back on the running track to train for my fitness test as a referee. And you have to schedule time at the track. You can't just turn up. It's not like it used to be. I do everything by appointment that needs appointments. So if I'm going to talk to someone on the phone, maybe do a follow-up or something like that, it's all scheduled. But I still freestyle most stuff. So you've got to be proactive. 90% of what you do has got to be proactive. You organize it, but you still have to have the ability, the other 10%, to be reactive, because you'd never know what's going to happen. So you've got to have a little bit of time or space in your brain for that as well. So and we must make time for what matters most. Very, very simple.
Well, back to the reactive part. If you're constantly flustered or under the cosh all the time because you haven't been able to manage your time, manage yourself. Okay, manage yourself. I almost stated a contradiction there. But yeah, so if you're not in that self-management space, then when you do need to wing it, you're not going to be thinking clearly because you're under too much pressure already, to begin with. And there will come times when you have to wing it, and sometimes on a consistent basis. You expect it, you need to be more flexible and things like that and be able to roll with those punches. But if you're under pressure all the time and you're stressed out and you're anxious because you're not able to manage yourself to begin with, there's no ways you're going to be able to think clearly enough with making the right decisions at the right times and with the right energy and output. Because you just can't. Your brain can't function on multiple things at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not effectively, that is.
Right. We all must learn the value of every moment. That's the other thing to do with time management really is that you value it. You know, it's every second's important to you, even
Yes.
if you listen to music. I mean, it's like, you know, or meditating or yoga or something else, whatever it is, make sure it's useful to you and you're not wasting it. Now, there are going to be some times when we just want to like sit in the chair and just relax, and that's fine. But don't, you know, what we're saying is don't waste it. So yeah, I hope that you're prepared to squeeze the life out of every minute or every second and as much as you can. And I do that when I go on holiday. I lay on a sunbed around the swimming pool and read a book. But it's you squeeze out what you want to squeeze out of it, you know. And what about you? What do you do to relax?
To relax, I'm quite selfish when I relax, when I want to relax as well. And it's like now, for example, I'm at home on my own. I was at school, Andrea's out with a client, and right now I could just chill back, put a movie on, and watch a movie by myself, you know. But I know that that's not the right thing to do. So this is where, you know, where you've got to do the hard work in the dark when nobody notices and nobody's there to witness it. Now that's what counts, and this is where managing yourself is so key. It's not just to do it when other people are going to notice you doing it, which so many people these days do, unfortunately, through social media. You know, they seem to be very active and that all the time in the eye of the public, but what are they actually really doing behind the scenes? You know, and this is when you really need to knuckle down and get things done and manage yourself, because time is never going to be managed. It really isn't. You can't slow it down. You can't stop your watch and think, it's okay, this is it now. I'm going to stop the next 2 hours. Yeah, you can't do that. And unfortunately, we just don't. Many of us don't recognize that. We don't recognize the simplicity and the fact that time just keeps moving at a constant. All right. Although, in saying that, from a quantum perspective, from a universal perspective, galactic perspective, things are expanding at different rates around the universe, depending on where they are positioned in the universe. So time in itself does vary. The speed of time, let's put it that way, varies because, what I'm talking about, through some of the studying and research I've been doing of late, is that the universe, depending on where planets and galaxies and whatnot are situated, they're expanding apart from each other at different rates. Okay, so which means that time does flow at different speeds. But we can't control that. The only thing we can control is how fast or slow we travel, and how fast and slow we do the things that need to be done that are important. And by that way, we can then keep up with the time that we have, because we all have 24 hours in the day. No matter what you may think, those that are super, super successful, they don't have more time. They may have more people doing things for them, but in the same breath, before they had those people doing things for them, they had to do everything themselves and get to that point in any case.
Absolutely. So, they did it all themselves. So you're not right. You're right.
Yeah.
So, well, here's some tips. All right. You can take it however you want to mean it. Because, look, at the end of the day, I hope I'm talking to people who want to be highly, highly productive and successful and reach an outcome or some results that they want. So the first thing is ruthlessly cut away the unimportant, which means, in a nutshell, focus only on the important. Okay? Because there's loads of rubbish out there that we concentrate on. We really don't need to. Second thing, allocate breaks strategically during the day, however you do it. Look, the key is that you go from point A to point Z, or Z for the Americans. But and you want certain results. If you're getting those results, then you're doing it right. Okay. The only difference to that would be if you were teaching or duplicating things, and you needed your team to do the same type of things, then you've got to do what's being able to be duplicated. Not that you're brilliant at something, but nobody else can do what you're doing. So think about that, because you could be brilliant at it, but you couldn't teach it. The third thing is allocate breaks strategically. Rest when you're tired and when you're finished. Okay. The third thing was remove productivity pit stops. things that limit your productivity. Now I'll let you work that one out, what they are. The fourth thing is what we are used to doing, which is tap into your inspiration. Okay, so you channel your inner muse, your thinking time, your meditation, maybe yoga. I don't know what it is you would use. There are some people that can actually listen to heavy rock music and do that.
Yeah. So sorry. I mean, and the reason being is because that's their form of meditation.
Yeah.
You understand? It's like when I'm training, the music I don't listen to motivational stuff when I'm training because that doesn't inspire me. Because that's just motivation. It's like brushing teeth every day. Unless you do it yourself, it's not going to do anything for you. So, when I listen to music when I'm training, that inspires me to
I like music when I'm training.
What's that?
I like music when I'm training.
Yeah. So it's where was I getting? I was getting onto something now. Man, I had a very powerful punch point or something, I think. But I had something I lost track of where I was going now on that. But in any case, you gotta. It's important that you figure out for yourself what it is that is important for you that you're going to do every day. And like now, I'm used to training in the morning. Okay, I like to train in the morning because my morning workouts are typically very, very impactful for me personally, and it's fresh, early, that kind of stuff. But now I'm having to adjust that so that I'm training now later on in the day because, like Paul said, getting things done in the morning is so much more effective. And training for me is not, although it's one of my key values in my own personal life. I'm fit and I'm strong, okay, already. So I don't need to put as much focus and effort into that. It comes automatically. So for me, in order to start changing habits in other areas of my life, okay, I've had to now put a backbone on my training, train later on in the day, and get the more important things that need more empowering habits for me personally to be done in the morning. So I've had to just, understand what I'm saying. So I'm putting the horse before the cart. And that takes flexibility to be able to do that and see and identify and be willing to do that as well.
Yeah.
It's when certain things are that important to you, it's not easy to shift them around. I get that. Unfortunately, we don't value the things that should or could be valued more in our lives. And therefore, we do delay doing them because we haven't identified the true value of those. And this is another thing that I work with when I work with my clients is like when it comes to nutrition and eating and food, exercise and rest, where does that sit in their scale of values? Yeah. And you'll typically find that people whose health is on a lower level, lower par, okay, it sits lower down in the scale of values. And people who don't do very well in business, the same thing applies. Managing your money, your finances, managing your actual business acumen, it doesn't sit as high on the value scale as it could do. So therefore, be honest with yourself enough, and there's also exercises where you can find these and you can do it yourself and see where your values sit and then assess that for yourself and take it from there, but be willing to make adjustments where you need to. Don't be shy of that.
Okay. All right. Sorry?
I think I got to the point I wanted to make. I don't know.
Number 5, create barriers to entry. Okay. And that means just don't make yourself too accessible. Learn to say no, don't answer the phone, turn it off, but let people know you're doing that. So they're not phoning you 40 times. Think, where is he? Where is he? Okay. Number 6, optimize time pockets. Now, you've got little nooks and crannies during your day that you can actually use to your advantage. That's all I'll say. You'll know what they are as you come across them. But you've got to make the best of every minute when you can. Number 7 was set timelines. Now, you haven't got 50 things to get done during the day, but at least you can GST, which is get done. All right. GSD, sorry, get it done. So, and the last thing is automation. Now, bit of a interesting topic, but all I'll say is, if you get the chance, some things you need to do yourself, okay? But other things you can outsource, delegate, or automate. So, if you can, but always remember, face-to-face stuff is what you do, or you
Yes,
should be
yes,
doing, and that
yes.
should be done by you, okay? Because if people know, like, and trust you, that's who they're doing business with. So, again, like a personal trainer or in sales and things like that. And
Cleaning your house, cutting your lawn, that doesn't have to be done by you.
no, that's right.
Yeah.
So, okay, now I did try to aim at 30 minutes, but it seems I'm going to fail dismally. So,
No, you're just over 30 minutes now.
yeah, I know, but I've got a few other things I want to do.
Well, then we need to manage. Then we need to manage ourselves here.
Yeah,
Make
absolutely.
a decision. Do we cut certain things from below the waistline, or do we?
Yeah, we'll cut it. We'll cut it now. For now, I think we'll come back and do part 2. I think at some stage.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
that's an idea.
So, we hope this has been useful. We're trying to cut down the time, because we know people's time is extremely valuable, as is ours as well. And yeah, we hope you have a fantastic week. You know, if you're making money, I hope you make loads of it. If you're training, I hope you do better than you've ever done before. You know, so if you want to ask us any questions, let us know, and we'll come back and answer it on our Facebook Live. You know, in the comments section. If you'd like this, please like the video, and also share it if you think it's someone might need what we're doing. You know, what we've been talking about. So with that,
you never know. And yeah, also, you know, everything that we've spoken about today, and most of the stuff we talk about business related on the podcast, the business related podcast, are subjects and topics that we deal with on a daily basis within our business. You know, and as I touched on, we're not perfect at it all, you know, but the fact that we are learning and growing as we do this, practice these things every day. You know, in our industry, things like time and things like priorities and focus and all of these kind of factors, they all get taught to us on a regular basis. They get shared with us. We have some of the best mentors and trainers and that in the world sharing the information with us because of the industry that we're in. And this is what we do when we work with people as well. And when we work with individuals, be it part-time or full-time, whatever, this is how we help them to grow. And this is important. You know, you want to surround yourself in a society, in an environment, in a community where these kind of tools are part and parcel of what you're doing. And whether it's something that you're doing 5 hours in a week or 50 hours in a week, that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The most important thing is find a way, find a vehicle, if you will, for choice of a better term, but find a vehicle where you can actually start practicing things like managing yourself and your focus and your priorities, and that with people that are thinking in the same way as you. Because if you're doing it on your own all the time, it just makes it so much more difficult. You know? So that could be a partner, it could be your husband or your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, a friend. Find somebody that has the same way of thinking as you and partner up with them in that. And that way, when you have an accountability coach or partner, you're able to apply yourself a lot easier. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. So, yeah, we're done.
Fantastic.
Have a fantastic day, and we'll speak soon.
Have a beautiful week, everybody.
Not bad. So, we're getting there.
Well done, Paul.
So, thanks for everyone to come in for successcafe.tv, and we look forward to speaking to you next Monday. So, great. Lovely. See you later.